Well, I think we've seen like over the last couple months, there's been a break within MAGA because the MAGA
Mm,
movement was very strong for the longest time because they were, uniting behind Trump. Well, now people are like, well, it's kind of broken off into the America First movement and then the MAGA movement. And the MAGA movement, they're whatever Trump wants to do. If we're pro, that's what we're going to do. So that's what we're kind of seeing. I've seen that really intensify now to where even people who have a lot in common, that one issue, the Zionist cabal, Jewish supremacy, whatever you want to call it, that's really dividing people up. So it just depends on which way Trump's going to adhere to. Like, who's he going to listen to? Is he going to listen to his America First base, which, by the way, had his back for the majority of the time. They had
mm.
his back in the 2016 when a lot of these other MAGA people, they were anti-Trumpers until they got on board in like 2020 and 2024. So yeah, I think we've definitely seen a split. I don't know how that's going to, affect anything. It's like, I mean, the people have to realize like it's we the people against them,
Mm.
and as long as we are focused on this two-party system, we're not going anywhere because people just they get behind a candidate and then they cut off anybody who criticizes him or has any kind of
Mm.
critique at all. Like Kyle Rittenhouse, he got into a bunch of trouble a couple months ago because he was like, I don't think Trump's going to be the best on gun laws. So he was like, I'm going to write in Ron Paul, and lost hundreds of thousands of followers, big backlash. And that's kind of what's going on. So MAGA is starting to eat its own when it comes
Mm.
to, people, if they slightly dissent or they're like, well, isn't great. I don't love this pick. So it's kind of seems to be like a divide and conquer strategy because people, they really couldn't go up against that MAGA base because it was so strong and unified. But now it's not. It's in shambles.
Yeah, it's definitely. And of course, you got Elon Musk and VK Ramaswamy, who I interviewed last year. And he's a very intelligent guy, but he'll still go, I stand with Israel,
Right.
which is so annoying. I put up a $1 million challenge here at Australian National Review just for someone on the planet to provide a logical argument why America and why we in the West and Australia and Britain, etc., should stand with Israel. All I want is a logical argument that can't be debunked as nonsense propaganda. And no one can provide that argument.
Right.
And we increased that to $6 million, not to be controversial, but it's like, please, someone provide this. So I think in 2025, that's going to become the big issue for Trump administration, because I feel the trend, and you might agree with this, Lee, that more and more people are waking up that Israel, why are we fighting Israel's wars? All American wars pretty much have been Israel wars, and Netanyahu has the Greater Israel Project. And of course, the Zionist cabal wants to take out Iran. But what's wrong with Iran? Has Iran ever hurt us? Iran's been around for a very long time,
Mhm.
and they seem to be much more patient or an adult in the room in comparison to these psychopaths that just want war after war. And also, I think, as you know, more people are finding out that Israel funded Hamas. Israel is ISIS.
Yeah.
Israel is using terrorists and inciting and funding and recruiting and creating an Islamic terrorist problem, which someone's going to have to solve. And Russia's been one of the few countries say this is becoming a problem. But people go, well, yeah, we've got to pick on the Muslims. But
Right.
I say to people, look, I live in the largest Muslim nation on the planet, in Indonesia. And I've got to say it's the safest nation on the planet and the most peaceful people. So I don't see Muslims as the problem. I see people that are funding Islamic terrorism and using Islamic terrorists to basically scare the hell out of us Westerners to, guess what, stand with Israel.
Right.
So I guess how is this going to change? I mean, it is changing. I think people are waking up, but I guess that's why it's the counterbalance of X now censoring more, which is really disappointing, because if too many people find out the truth that Israel might be the problem, then that cabal will fall.
Right. Well, I think 2025 is going to be the year of renewed censorship. I think it's going to be really bad. I think it's probably even going to be worse than under Biden, believe it or not, just because people are waking up and it's young people. I think we've pretty much given up on the boomers. Like the older people, they've already got it entrenched in their head. They've been so programmed for years. Like they're not giving that up anytime soon, But the younger people, they are really waking up to this. Like so many people I talk to, I'm like, wow, you know about this? This isn't like some dark corner of the internet now.
Mm.
And you even see like, Zuckerberg coming in all in, and Elon Musk is all in, and they own the social media platforms, and that really drives the public narrative or whatever, because that's young people are on social media. If they see lots of people waking up to something, they're going to jump on the bandwagon. But if they see a lot of, like with Zuckerberg, they're implementing these meta bots that they're going to bring in that looks like real people. Looks like real accounts. But I think that's just a way to control the narrative and kind of quell this rebellion that's rising up of people being like, we don't really want this. So I think we're going to see a lot more censorship. We're already seeing it. I mean, friends of mine, Jake Shields, he's demonetized on everything, no warning. Stu Peters, tons of other people that are speaking out about this issue in particular are getting systematically, rooted out. And if you take away somebody's form of income, they simply cannot produce the content. Yes. But this snowball is rolling. So I hope that'll do something. At the end of the day, it's like, what are we supposed to do? Like, people can all be mad about something, but that's not going to change the government's mind. They're not going to do anything about it. They're just going to do these little, acts, and they'll put in policies that'll appease us. But until there's like a big global awakening, and we start trying to replace these people, and we start trying to cut back on the funding, like AIPAC spent $100+ million on this 2024 election cycle alone. Until we can quit that, then we're toast.